So apparently, we're all supposed to buy the idea that Meghan Markle just strolled onto a commercial flight like it was no big deal. No private jet, no entourage, just Meghan casually handing out handwritten thank you notes to the crew like she's starring in a feel-good holiday movie. That's the fantasy page 6 served up. And let's just say it's leaking more than a busted faucet. Because here's the kicker. The flight attendant who was supposedly there for this heartwarming Meghan moment, she's now saying she never even saw Meghan on board. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's break this down before we all lose a few brain cells. The original story read like a PR dream. Meghan, the gracious, glowing Duchess flying coach, complimenting staff, scribbling sweet notes. The language was so over the top you'd think it came straight from someone's fanfiction. Or a PR team desperately trying to resuscitate a public image. But then, plot twist. The flight attendant quoted in the piece is now telling a French outlet that she didn't actually see Meghan on the flight at all. So now the question is why push a story like this if it's not even real? Think about it. A flight attendant gets on TikTok, talks about Meghan Markle's supposedly flying commercial, and drops specific details that would violate airline privacy policies. American Airlines isn't exactly loose with passenger info. So unless this was a carefully staged media moment, this woman pretty much signed her own pink slip, which has people wondering, was she coached? Was this part of a broader plan? And here's where it gets weird. Some folks believe Meghan orchestrated the whole thing, as in, she allegedly handed the woman a note and said something like, hey, tell everyone I'm sweet and relatable. Yeah, ... That's not just a little off. That's full-on Diana cosplay. Let's talk about that. The handwritten note move. Total Diana move. Princess Diana was known for sending personalized, heartfelt notes. People adored her for it. Meghan seems to be pulling from the exact same playbook letters. Outfits, photo ops. It's like she's channeling Diana at every turn. Except this time, there's no evidence Meghan was even there. No fan pics. No videos. No grainy cell phone. Footage? Nothing. We're talking about Meghan Markle here, the woman who once had paparazzi accidentally catch her visiting a dog shelter in the middle of nowhere. And now we're supposed to believe she flew on a public plane and not a single person noticed? To top it off, Page 6 used a photo from 2016 to sell this flight fantasy. Yeah, an old image of Meghan getting off a plane, tossed in like it was taken last week. No label, no disclaimer. Just slipped in like no one would notice. But guess what? The internet noticed. And they're not happy. People are accusing them of trying to gaslight the public with outdated photos and a made-up narrative. So, again, what was the goal here? Because if this was supposed to be a feel-good moment, it completely backfired. It looks like a sloppy PR stunt with zero follow-through. And honestly, it's kind of cringe. Let's go back to the flight for a second. Not only was there a total lack of visuals, no paparazzi, no witnesses, but we're also expected to believe Meghan, who is famously strict about her privacy and security, flew totally solo. No staff, no bodyguard, just her and a stack of notes, right? Because celebrities, especially royals, are always hopping on planes alone with zero fanfare. If that had happened, there'd be footage from 5 different angles plastered across the Daily Mail within minutes. Instead, all we got was a now silent flight attendant who's apparently walking back every word. According to sources, she's been talking privately and admitting she never actually saw Meghan at all, which means this whole thing was either made up from the jump or got wildly out of hand. Either way, it's a mess. But Page 6 didn't care. They went all in. Meghan's handwritten note goes viral. Viral where? TikTok, Instagram, because no one has seen it. No one saw her. There's no photo, no footage, not even a shadow of her at the gate or walking through security. And keep in mind, this is the same woman who reportedly tipped off paparazzi about her own location, all while pretending to be caught off guard. She's got a history of staging moments that look spontaneous but clearly aren't. Remember the NYC car chase claims or the harassment pics that later turned out to be orchestrated? This isn't new. The whole Humble Duchess Flies commercial storyline has been recycled more times than a soda can. The only thing different this time, a super awkward moment where the flight attendant couldn't even get her title right. She stumbles through it. Queen. No. Princess. ... Duchess. While raving about Meghan's nails. Which is extra ironic because actual flight attendants can't even wear long nails for safety reasons. But sure, let's pretend protocol doesn't exist when royalty boards also ... the timing. Super convenient. Meghan hasn't been in the press for anything positive lately. The Spotify deal fizzled. Her Netflix stuff isn't really making waves. So right when the narrative needs a facelift, boom, she's a humble jet setter again. Except this time, it's all smoke and mirrors. No proof, no receipts. Just a backpedaling source, an outdated image, and a recycled storyline. And the second you start digging, the whole thing unravels. Take the timeline. If this flight happened recently, why did Page 6 need to use a photo from 2016? That's not just lazy. That's intentional. They didn't even bother noting the year. They just hoped no one would notice, but people did. And now everyone's asking the same thing. If Meghan really flew commercial, where's the trail? The fans, the staff, the manifest. Instead, we've got a story built on sand. One shaky claim, no solid evidence, and now not even the original. Sources standing by it, which begs the question, what's the angle? Meghan's not clueless. Her team knows how this stuff spreads. They know most people won't dig. They'll see a feel-good headline and move on. And maybe that's the strategy. Drop a flattering story, let it make the rounds, and by the time it's debunked, the positive PR damage is already done. But that only works if the illusion holds up. And this one crumbled faster than a cookie in hot tea. People are paying attention. Even her supporters are starting to raise their eyebrows. Why all the theatrics? Why can't anything just be normal? And here's another weird layer. The article that painted Meghan as this kind-hearted traveler made zero mention of Harry. If she was flying solo, where was he? Why no mention at all? It kind of feels like the story was written to shine the spotlight only on her and maybe even distance her from him. Especially with all those recent rumors. The separate homes, the solo appearances, it's starting to feel like a quiet rebrand. And when you think about it, even the part where Meghan says she reads to the kids over email while traveling, that's not how bedtime stories work. Who reads to their children via email? That awkward Drew Barrymore interview where she said whoever's with them instead of saying Harry or even a nanny, it raised some eyebrows. If Meghan's always gone and Harry's not with her, who is with the kids? At this point, the flight story isn't just about the flight. It's about cracks in the whole public image. The marriage, the parenting, the PR machine. It's all feeling heavily edited and oddly distant. People can tell something's off. And the more they try to stage wholesome moments, the more obvious it becomes. Whatever message Meghan's trying to send with these overproduced normal moments, it's missing the mark. Big time. And no handwritten note is going to fix that.